We're here tonight at the Columbia Spring Jubilee to take a stand to end the animal cruelty of the Big Lick Tennessee walking horse. It's been going on for far too long. Secretary Tom Vilsack, USDA, is about to eliminate the pads and chains.
We've been here protesting Big Lick animal cruelty. We're against any horse that has to suffer for a show. They shouldn't have to suffer for people's entertainment and pleasure. Horses don't have a voice for themselves. We can speak up for them, and it's all about educating people about what's actually happening behind these show rings. Horses that are flat shod, I believe that's how these horses should be shown. They don't need stacks and chains to exaggerate their natural gait.
It's absolutely appalling. I have been involved with horses for over 40 years. There is no way to achieve this lick without systemic, repeated cruelty. It's torture.
I operate a Humane Society for horses, and all my life I've loved horses. There's no reason any horse should have to suffer for any reason, especially for entertainment.
It's appalling. It has no place in a civilized society.
It takes animal cruelty to produce what you're seeing out here. It's a response to pain. Dr. John Haffner at MTSU, horse science professor, says it's a business based on the suffering and pain of horses. They have 8-pound heavy shoes. They have chains on their feet. It's the only breed in America that shows with chains on their feet. It's banned virtually everywhere in the United States Equestrian Federation and the American Veterinary Medical Association, the American Association of Equine Practitioners. It's a pariah. It needs to end.
As an American, I object to it strenuously. As a Tennessean, I oppose its presence here in my state. I'm a taxpayer in this county. My husband's family has been here for over 200 years, and I am mad.
At the very least, remove the stacks and chains from these shows. It's completely uncalled for. These horses are beautiful the way they are. They don't need artificial enhancements to make them fancier. They're beautiful just the way they are. Let's celebrate the natural beauty of these horses, not a man-made look.
I'm here because I want the chains and the pads being removed from the Tennessee walking horse. They have such a beautiful, beautiful natural gait, and I don't understand how people seriously can say that that is nice and pretty and they love their horses if they do such a horrible thing to them. There's no need to soar an animal at all. Like I said, they have a beautiful gait, so walk proud, walk natural. That's all about it.
Where are you from?
I'm from Germany, actually.
Where do you live now?
Now I live in Nunnelly, Tennessee.
Do you have horses?
I do have 2 Tennessee walking horses. One of them was an actual horse as well for 15 years. He's 17 now, and I can still see his pain.
What are the names of your horses?
One horse is Friday Night Live, aka Boya. Our show horse he's putting on the cash. He's a direct son of he's putting on the Ritz.
These horses are meant to graze, but once they have these big shoes put on their feet, these big pads, they spend all day and all night in their stall. The only time they get out of their stall, their prison, is when they are ridden for an hour or 2 a day. That is cruelty.
Almost like prison.
Prison. In pain, being in prison in pain because of the chemicals on their legs.
What I hope comes out of this event today is I'm praying first off that the children will watching this will understand what is causing this, that this is not fun, that this is cruelty, it's abuse.
I hope to bring awareness to people and ultimately get rid of the stacks and chains.
Secondly, I'm hoping that citizens of this state, of this country, will stand up and realize that this absolutely must stop.
The internet's been very instrumental in educating people about how these horses are treated, and so that's my goal, is to try to raise even more awareness and bring more attention to what's happening to these poor horses.
What's going to happen is that the pads and chains are going to end and people are going to have to adjust to a new way of life. And it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to the Tennessee walking horse breed, because it's going to be allowed to prosper. It won't be carrying this heavy burden around of having to endure the stigma and stain throughout America with the pads and chains. The United States Equestrian Federation will not allow a Tennessee walking horse with a package device and an action device even to show in its ring. The Big Lick Tennessee walking horse is no longer the breed registry is not recognized by the American Horse Council. It's time for the Tennessee walking horse to re-enter the equine world and go back to the day of Trigger and Roy Rogers and Gene Autry and Champion and become America's horse. All the Americans you see here are from Tennessee, Arkansas. They've come to take a stand. They don't want this anymore. Tennessee walking horse is a great breed. It can thrive and prosper without the animal cruelty. It needs to stop now. This needs to be the last Columbia Spring Jubilee at which there's the big lick animal cruelty.
Every American has a birthright to stake a moral claim for what we would like America to be. And I challenge those who are watching this video to think long and hard about how precious that birthright is, to stand up on this issue, on all issues of importance to them, and make their voices heard.
These are good people here. There's nothing wrong with any of these people, but they're addicted to this big lick way of life. We're not against horse shows. We're not against the Tennessee walking horse. We want this breed to thrive and prosper, but it can't do it under the shadow and cloud of the animal cruelty. And that's why we're here. That's why these citizens are wearing boycott big lick animal cruelty, and that's why the Constitution of the United States allows us to come here in a public park and have our say. I'm here personally because I have knowledge of what goes on. I come from the source side of the fence. I know everything there is to know, and it's time for it to change. This has gone on now for 50 years. It's time for it to end. I hope the public awareness is increased and that people are in a situation where this no longer is taking place. We're proud to be here, and that's what Americans do.